طيب, this is a quick video for lesson 2.5. Lesson 2.5 basically is actually rich of ideas, but all follows almost the same steps. Okay, these are the general steps. Always and always make sure to find the GCF first. If you were able to find the GCF will be part of your answer. It's going to be a term that will be written before the two factors that you're going to write them later on. Okay, the GCF might be a number, might be a variable, might be a term like a number and a variable. Okay, we're going to see that in a minute. And then after you find the GCF, use product sum rule on the new equation, trinomial, the new factored trinomial. After taking the GCF, what you have left inside this thing, you will name the first term as A, B, then C, and use the product sum. A is coefficient of x squared, C is the constant, the number that comes alone, B is the coefficient of x, it's the number before x. This is the number before x squared. Okay, and then lastly, your answer should look like this: GCF, if you have it, multiplied with the two factors. Okay, the two factors should be written as, remember that the product sum gives you the first number and the second number. Okay, x plus or minus depends on the sign of the number. The first factor, divide by your a, and then divide by your a with the second factor. Later on, you're going to need to simplify this fraction. If you can't simplify it, you will rewrite it before the x and so on. I'm going to show you an example here how to do that. These are just general guidelines. So we have the following cases. We have basically we can say that there are four main cases. Okay, the first case is when you do have a GCF, and after you take the GCF, you will end up inside the bracket with the previous lesson, x squared plus bx plus c, like no number with x squared, no a. Okay, this is an easy case, a very easy case. For example, let's take this one. So again, remember, first step is find the GCF. So look at all the terms. Do I have a variable to take out? Nope, because this one doesn't have an x. But what if do I have a number? Yes, I can take out number 5. So the GCF here is 5. Take the 5 out. Okay, now what do you have left? I took the 5, I have 1, because when you take the GCF, you basically think what times the GCF will give you this. 1 times 5. You took the 5, you have 1 x squared. Here 5 times 7, so you took the 5, you have 7 x, or you can divide. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Here it's 5 times 10, you took the 5, you have 10 positive. Now this is your new equation. You will work on product sum with this new equation. Look at here, I don't have a number as a is 1, which is same as before. 1, you don't need to write it. Okay, so I don't have a number here. So basically you use the original product sum, the normal product sum. Remember, the normal product sum is when you don't have an a, you just directly say that I have the b as -7, the c is 10, so the product should be 10 positive, the sum should be -7, and normally you're gonna find the product sum. Okay, how does it work? 1 times 10, or write the factors of 10. 2 times 5, either both positive to get a positive 10, or -1 times -10, -2 times -5 to get a positive 10. Oh, sorry, both are negative. Okay, add them now. 10 plus 1 is 11, 7, -11, -7. And this is basically the pair I'm looking for. They should multiply to positive 10 and add to -7. Now how do we write the answer? Remember, I'm factoring the new trinomial. Again, I don't look at this anymore. خلاص, I took from this the GCF, now I'm working on this one. So my answer will be written for this one. So I still have the GCF outside times This trinomial, I factored it out as 2 brackets. The first one is x, I don't have an a, so I work normally. X minus 2, the second one is x minus 5. See, it's very easy. That's it. Since I don't have an a, خلاص, just put down the answers. You don't have an a, everything is normal. Okay? Now let's try this one again. طيب, first step is what? You have to look at all the terms and see, do I have a GCF to take out? I can see clearly I have a variable in all terms. I can take you take always the least one. So I can take an x out. And what about the numbers? I can take 3 because here I have 3, here I have 5 times 3, here I have 3 times 1, and here I have 3 times 6. Okay? So I can take 3 out. Now that's my GCF. Look. Now what do I have left? I have 1x cubed, or basically x cubed. I mean squared because I took an x. Pay attention, please. Again, I took an x, so I have only x here, and I have only 5. Please be careful while you are solving. Here, I took the x, no more x, and I took the 3, I have 6, only negative. Now, product sum, you work on the new trinomial. خلاص, you don't look at this anymore, that's it. This one, we rewrote it like the whole thing. And this trinomial, I need to factor it. Use product sum. Remember, I don't have an a. So I use the original 2.5 rule. Lesson 2.5 rule. I have the b as positive 5, the c as negative 6. So the product should be negative 6. The sum should be positive 5. To get a negative 6, either 1 times 6, but the 1 may be negative, 2 times 3, the 2 may be negative, so maybe the first one is negative to get a negative answer, or the second one is negative. Now combine them. 6 minus 1 is 5, 3 minus 2 is negative, it's positive 1. Here it's negative 5, negative 1. Double check your answer always with the calculator. Just put it like this, negative 1, positive 5. In the calculator, you're gonna get 5, okay? Anyways, which one is the answer I'm looking for? It's the first one. It should multiply to negative 6 and add up to positive 5. So how do I write the answer? First of all, don't forget the GCF. Please don't forget it. It's a big deal. Look, here I did not forget it. So my solution will be, first of all, write down the GCF that you took away. Then I have 2 brackets. Why 2 brackets? Because I factored this trinomial into 2 factors. The first one will be x minus 6, minus 1. Second will be x plus 6, which are basically the factors. This is the first factor, this is the second factor. And why I did not divide them by anything? Because I don't have an a. If you have an a, which is the next slides, you will have to divide by something. But so far, I'm only taking a GCF, and what I end up with is a trinomial that does not have an a. No a. So I use the 2.5 rule, normal product sum. عادي. تمام? These are my solutions. This is the solution, the first one, and this is the second one. How do we check our answer? If you want to check your answer, I'm gonna check for one of the brackets. I'll do this one. 3x, x minus 1, x plus 6. Okay. If I multiply all 3 terms, I'm supposed to get this back. This one. Okay. So my goal is to get the original equation, this one. Let's see. So again, I'm just checking my work. You don't have to do it, but in the test you can do it. So how do you multiply 3 terms? First of all, multiply the first 2 terms. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times negative 1, it's negative 3x. And then multiply it with the last one, using FOIL method, 2 terms by 2 terms. So x squared times x, it's 3x to the power of 3, 3x's. 3x squared times 6, 3 times 6 is positive 18x squared. Negative 3x times x, negative 3x times x is x squared. Negative 3 times 6, it's negative 18. And x, don't forget the x, because negative 3x, the x will be written down. Now these are like terms, combine them. I have 3x cubed. 18 minus 3 is 15. Yeah, I think, yeah. Positive 15 x squared and negative 18x. Let's check. Is it the same as the original one? 3, 15, 18. Okay, with x cubed, yep, it is. So this is how you check your answer. Anyways, let's proceed with the other ideas. So we're done with the first case. When you have a GCF and what you end up with, you are ending up with what? With a trinomial that does not have an a. Trinomial that does not have an a. Okay? So your answer will look like normal cases in 2.5. X plus the number, x plus the number. That's it. Okay? And don't forget the GCF at the beginning. Now let's see the other case. You do have a GCF, but your trinomial will have an a. So let's see. Let's take the GCF from here. I can, Banat, if you don't know how to find the GCF directly, you can list out the factors and do the whole steps as usual. But since I know how to do it, I'll do it very quickly. I'll start basically with this question and then I'm gonna do this one. Okay, just looking at this one, I know that the GCF is 7. With experience, you will know just by looking at the question. If you still do not know, list the factors as normal. Like 21 is basically 1 times 21, 7 times 2, and then do the same here, 1 times 2, and so on, okay? Anyways, I know that the GCF is 7, so it's 7 times 3. Here it's 7 times 5, and here it's 7 times 2. So I'll take the 7 out, and I don't have a variable to take out because this one does not have a variable. So 7 is my GCF, take it out. Now what do I have left? I have 3x squared. I have negative 5x. I have negative 2 without a variable. Now look, I have a number with x squared, which is not usual. Before, I used to have x squared alone, x squared only with terms, x squared only with terms. But now I have a coefficient for x squared. This coefficient is called a. This one will ruin everything, alhamdulillah. The b is negative 5, the c is negative 2. So a is 3, b is negative 5, c is negative 2. Now your product sum will look different. You do not use the normal product sum rule. La. Product sum will be as following. The product now is a times c. So you take the a, 3, multiply it with negative 2. So it's going to be negative 6. You are looking for this product. Not negative 2, la. 3 times negative 2, which is negative 6. The sum will be the same. Always be. عادي. ما بتغير. Negative 5. Now, find your product sum factors. Negative 6, how to get it? Either 1 times 6, but one of them is negative. 2 times 3, one of them is negative. Or, maybe the first one is negative as we saw. Or, the other one is negative. 2 times negative 3. You have to write the cases. Then add with the calculator. This is going to be very quickly. 5, 1, negative 5, negative 1. And I'm looking for negative 5. So these are the pairs I'm looking for. Bismillah, I found the factors. This is the first factor. This is the second factor. Okay? Now from here, what do we do? From here, you have to do the following. First, write the factors in the following formula. The first factor divided by a, second factor divided by a. Yeah, let's see. Don't forget the GCF, huh? So 7, the GCF outside. Now, this thing, we factor it as 2 brackets. For x, then, what's the first factor? Positive 1. So plus 1, x minus 6. And because we have an a, you have to divide the factors by your a. You need to and you have to. It's a must. It's not optional. Don't forget. Before we did not do it because we didn't have an a. Here there was nothing, there was no a. So I did not divide by anything. خلاص. This is the answer, that's it. But here you have to divide by a. Now when writing factors, you can't leave the answer as a fraction. You have to simplify. What does it mean to simplify? Bismillah. Now the thing is, if you can simplify the numbers, like 1 over 3, if you can rewrite it in simpler form, in the calculator you can write down the fraction. Like you can use this button on your calculator and click this button, and then you're gonna fill it with 1 and 3, and click on equal button. It will give you a simpler fraction, if any. But if you do that for this fraction, it's gonna stay as 1 over 3 because this is the simplest. You cannot simplify it anymore. So leave it. But this one, 6 over 3, if you do the same thing, 6 over 3 in your calculator and click on equal, it's gonna rewrite it for you as 2, because 6 divided by 3 is 2, basically. Okay? So this one will be written as 2. So if you can simplify it, go ahead. If you cannot, in this case I can't, take the denominator and pull it next to the x, rewrite it next to the x. So it's going to be 3x, خلاص, no more denominator, plus 1. See, now I don't have any more fraction. This is the second step, which is simplify. Okay? So if you can simplify it, if you can divide it, go ahead. If you cannot, rewrite it. But don't rewrite while you can. Yeah, like here you cannot do 3x minus 6. This is not fine. You have to, if you can simplify it, you have to simplify it. This is the final answer. That's it. So if you have an a, you need to do 2 steps, right? First factor divide by the a, second factor divide by the a, and then simplify. Okay, let's do the same thing on this example. Tamam. So again, look for GCF. I just can tell by looking at it. I have an x as GCF. All the terms that have a variable x, take it out. And I have 4. This one is 4 times 4. 16 is basically 4 times 4. 32 is 4 times 8. 12 is 4 times 3. So I have a 4. So take the 4 out. This is my GCF. Okay. Now we have 4 and we took an x, so I have 4x squared. I took an x, I have now 2 more. I have 8, I took an x, then I have 1x. So basically positive 8x. Then positive 3, no more x. خلاص. Now use product sum rule. But again, because I have an a, look at the a, it's 4. B, it's 8, C, it's 3. Because I have an A, my product sum will be different. So the product is A times C. 4 times 3 is 12. Positive 12. My sum is only B, which is 8. You'll write the factors of 12. 1 times 12. 2 times 6. 3 times 4. Either both positive to get a positive answer, or both negative to get a positive answer. Negative 1, negative 12, negative 2, negative 6, negative 3, negative 4. Now combine. Just very quickly I'm going to do that. Find the sum. 8, 7, and here negative 13, negative 8, negative 7. Since I'm looking for a sum of 8, this is the pairs I'm looking for. So my first factor is 2, my second factor is 6. Now how do we write the answer? Again, first of all, first step is write your answer. Write how your answer look like. Your GCF, if you have it. Your first bracket, which is x plus the first factor over a. Your second bracket, x plus the second factor over a. Yalla bismillah. My GCF, I have it. Then 2 brackets. Why do I have to write these 2 brackets? They are the factored form of this trinomial. Yalla, x, then what are the factors? Positive 2 and positive 6. So positive 2, x, positive 6. And don't forget to divide by the a. If you have an a, divide by it. If you don't have, don't. خلاص done. But I do have. يلا بسم الله. My a is 4, that's why I divide by 4. Now second step is what? Simplify. How do we simplify? First term جاهز, nothing to simplify. Second one, x, sorry, wait, this is too early. So yeah, second one, 2 over 4. If you put 2 over 4 in the calculator and simplify it, it's gonna divide both of them by 2. So it's gonna be 1 over 2. See, it simplified for you the fraction into a simpler fraction still. Okay? So let's see the other one, 6 over 4. If you simplify this, you're gonna get, in the calculator, 3 over 2. So sometimes they simplify it into a number. Sometimes they do not simplify it. Sometimes they simplify it into another fraction. But what do we do if we end up with another fraction? عادي. This simpler fraction, rewrite it. So it's gonna be 2x plus 1. It's gonna be 2x plus 3. Don't forget the GCF. Done. This is the final answer. But make sure that you always, when you simplify, be aware. If you simplify to another fraction, it's okay. Rewrite it into this way. If you simplified it into a number, خلاص done. If it did not simplify it, if it kept it as a fraction, عادي. Rewrite it into this way. Okay? طيب, we are done with the cases when we have a GCF. طب what if there is no GCF أصلا to take out? So for example here, if you don't have a GCF, والله ممتاز. سبحان من ريحكم. Perfect. For example here, obviously I don't have a GCF. This is 1, and if one of the terms is 1, I don't have a GCF, of course. This one doesn't have value. خلاص, I'm done. Dead end. This is A, this is your B, this is your C, and you start working directly. No GCF. How did I know? Because the factors of 2 are only 1 times 2. Factors of 1 is 1 times 1. Factors of 21, it's 1 times 21. 3 times 7. And no common factor other than 1. 1 is not a GCF for me. So خلاص, no GCF. I start working directly with product sum table. فورا. See? The product should be A times C. The sum should be B. This is your A. This is your B, a hidden 1. This is your C, negative 21. Now multiply 2 times negative 21. It's negative 42. The B is positive 1. Yalla, bismillah. Write the factors of 42. 1 times 42. 2 times 21. There are many, but I know 6 times 4, 6 times 7, and 6 times 7 will work. But you can list the rest, no problem, okay? To get a negative, maybe the first one is negative, or the second one is negative. 1 times negative 42, 2 times negative 21, 6 times negative 7, and so on. Now I want the sum to be positive 1. This is gonna be 41. This is gonna be 219. This is gonna be 1. And this is gonna be negative 41, negative 19, negative 1. But this is the pair I'm looking for. The sum is 1. The product is 42 negative. Tamam. First factor, second factor are ready. How do we write the answer? There is no GCF to write before. Like here we had a GCF to write at the beginning, but here there is no. So directly open 2 brackets. Bas. X plus, what's your first factor? Negative 6. So x minus 6 directly. Do you have an A? Yes, I do. Divide by the A. X plus the second factor, positive 7. Do you have an A? Yes, I do. Divide by the A. كل عام وانتم بخير. Am I done? لا, you have to simplify. So if you put this in the calculator, 6 divided by 2 will give you 3. ممتاز. If you got as an answer, ممتاز, perfect. 7 divided by 2, or simplify it, you cannot. It will not simplify it for you. This is the simplest. So what do we do? Take the 2, write it before the x. So it's going to be 2x plus 7. بس خلصنا, done. This is your final answer. See? So if you don't have a GCF, it's way easier. Look here. Of course, you have to check if there's a GCF. Like you have to list down the GCF 1 times 10, 2 times 5, and here 1 times 17, and blah blah blah. And then look if there's a GCF. But I'm telling you, there is no GCF here. But you have to check yourself. Anyway, since no GCF, directly on the same equation work. This is your A, this is your B, positive 17, this is your C. Now use product sum table. Product should be A times C, sum should be B. Why is it A times C? Because I have the A. Now 10 times 3, it's 30. That's the product, positive 30. Sum is 17, positive. Yeah, so let's work on it. You can list all the factors. 1 times 30, 2 times 15, and so on, but I know 2 and 15 will work. Either both are positive or both are negative. Negative 1 times negative 30. Negative 2 times, again, why is it both positive or both negative? Because if both positive, the answer will be positive. If both negative, the answer will be positive again. Anyways, the sum should be 17. This is 31, this is 17, and so on, but I found the pairs. It's 2 and 15. First factor is 2, second factor is 15. Now, how do we write the answer? As normal, I don't have a GCF, so directly open two brackets. X with the first factor, which is positive 2, so plus 2. Do you have an A? Yes, divide by the A. Then x with the second factor 15, positive 15. Do you have an A? Yes, I do. Divide by it. Second step is simplify. 2 over 10. If you put it in the calculator, they're going to be written as 1 over 5. Divide by 2, divide by 2, it's going to be 1 over 5. 15 over 10. If you write it in the calculator, it's going to be, again, always when you do it in the calculator, don't take the decimal answer. You have to have it as a fraction. If you don't know how to do it, you can divide both of them by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, 10 divided by 5 is 2. This is the simplest form. Oh, with the calculator, it's way easier. Then, am I done? No, you still have to rewrite these two fractions. Take the denominator before x. So it's going to be 5x plus 1, first factor, 2x plus 3, second factor. I don't accept incomplete work. You have to make sure that your work completely is done. خلاص. Now what do? We have the last idea is, what if we have a y? Same as all three ideas before, which is when you have a GCF but there is no A, when you have a GCF but there is an A, when you don't have a GCF and of course you have an A. Same case, but the only thing is the y. You just add it like a cherry on the top. You do it at the end. Again, look at the terms. Do I have a GCF? Yes, I do. I have the 2 as GCF. So 6 is basically 3 times 2. 2 is 1 times 2. 4, it's 2 times 2. So I can take the 2 out. I cannot take an x because here I don't have an x. And I cannot take a y because here I don't have a y. So I can only take number 2. That's it. Take the 2 out. I have 3x squared, 1xy, negative 2y squared. Your new equation, you're going to work on it. This is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. Now use product sum table. The product should be A times C, the sum should be B. A is 3 times negative 2, it's negative 6. B is positive 1. So what are the factors of 6? 1 times 6, negative 6, يعني one of them should be negative. Negative 2 times 3. Or the other one should be negative. يلا. 1 times negative 6 or 2 times negative 3. Combine them. This is going to be 5, 1, negative 5, negative 1. I want it to be positive 1, so this is the one I'm looking for. My first factor is negative 2, my second factor is 3. You have to show me your work in the test, please. So yalla. Don't forget the GCF. It's going to be written outside, okay? Now for this trinomial, write two brackets. X with the first factor, -2. Do you have an a? Yes, write it down. X with the second factor, which is 3. Do you have an a? Yes. Divide by 3. Divide by the a, okay? This is the first step. Second step is to simplify. Yalla, GCF we have nothing to do with it. Just write it down. These two brackets, what do? Take the fractions and put them in your calculator. Try to simplify them. 2 over 3 will not change. It will stay 2 over 3. Just take the 3 before the x. But you have to check. Sometimes it will change to a simpler fraction. But you still have to check. 3 over 3 is going to be 1. بس كل عام وانتم بخير. We are done. Are we? No, we still have one last step, which is what? Since we have a y squared, best cherry on the top. Don't forget to put a y with your other number. It will not be with the x, it will be with the other factor. GCF will not take any x, any y. It will only be the number because I only took the 2 out. But the other 2 factors, don't forget to write a y. Bas. So that's the only thing. If you have a y squared, just in the answer, make sure that both terms have one of them x, one of them y. X and y, okay? That's it. Do it at the end. Same here. Check, do I have a GCF? I don't. This is number 1. So if you check, you don't have a GCF. Alhamdulillah. So directly work. This is your A. This is your B. This is your C. So use product sum table. Product should be A times C. Sum should be B. So 8 times -1, it's -8. This is your product. Sum is -2. What are the factors of -8? 1 times -8, 1 times 8, sorry, one of them negative. 2 times 4, one of them negative. Or the other one. -8 on 2 with -4. Combine. Maybe first one is negative or second one is negative. Combine. This is going to be 7, 2, -7, -2. And this is the one I'm looking for. 2 times -4 is -8. 2 plus -4, it's -2. Tamam. First factor is 2. Second factor is -4. Now for my trinomial, I don't have a GCF, so directly open 2 brackets. X with the first factor, +2. Do you have an a? Yes. Divide by the a. X with the second factor, -4. Do you have an a? Yes. Divide by that a. Then simplify. Yalla. 2 divided by 8. If you put it in the calculator, it's going to be 1 over 4. So make sure to put it in the calculator. Double check if you can simplify it. 4 over 8 is going to be simplified into 1 over 2. Am I done? Nope. You have to rewrite this before the x, rewrite this before the x. So it's going to be 4x plus 1, 2x minus 1. Now, am I completely done? No. Since you had a y squared, then everything will have a y. Make sure to write it everywhere at the end. Not literally everywhere, like with the other term. Okay? So this is your final answer. It's basically 4x plus y times 2x minus y. Minus 1y, yani minus y. This is your final answer. Okay? That's all for lesson 2.6. I feel like this video is very long, but the ideas are actually very rich. You can go through the questions in the PowerPoint, try to do it yourself, double check your answer, and make sure to practice on reasoning questions. These are the questions that most of the students fall in while they're solving. Now, this is a very nice question. They're saying, what if you have an A and what if you don't have an A? How is it similar? How is it different? When we do have an A, we have to divide our answers by the A and then simplify and then rewrite. When you don't have an A, your answer will be ready. That's it. One more difference is when you do have A, the product is A times C. When you do not have an A, like when your A is 1, like you do not have an A basically, then the product is only C. No need to multiply by the A, no need to do anything with the A. The 1 will not change anything. So that's it. Yalla, good luck, banat.